Audiobook Empire presents Accidental Angel, written by Tess Thompson, performed by P.J. Wood. Chapter 1. Damn this weather! Shane Madden recklessly maneuvered his BMW down the slick mountain highway as he watched the rain turn to sleet. Someone forgot to tell Mother Nature that it was springtime in Colorado. Glancing at the clock on the dash and then quickly back at the road, Shane realized he was running very late. He was due at the Trout River Country Club for the hospital charity ball, and Elizabeth would be frantic with worry. Who was he trying to kid? She would be mad as hell. Last week, he had been too busy to take her to the opera. In truth, he simply didn't want to go. Remembering how upset she was then, he dreaded the idea of facing her wrath tonight. It was rude of him to be late for a formal event, but a last-minute emergency had detained him at the hospital. Although he was not on call tonight, his time was never his own as the chief physician of the emergency trauma unit. Elizabeth would have to understand that his job would always take priority. People's lives were at stake, and his patients' welfare was more important than a charity ball. Keeping up appearances meant a lot to Elizabeth and her father. So did punctuality, but regardless, Shane still had to go home and change into his tuxedo, a necessity that would make him even later than he was already. Shane had concentrated on his education for most of his life, and recently his work kept him busy. Consequently, he never had time for a serious relationship. Then Elizabeth came along, and everything seemed so easy. She was a beautiful woman. Her father was the hospital's chief of staff, and one thing led to another. He certainly never experienced any of the overpowering emotions touted in love songs, but he was proud to have her as a girlfriend, as hundreds of other men would also have been proud. Yet lately, feelings of loneliness and discontent shaded his perspective, even when they were together. Shane often wondered if she would fit in with his large and sometimes crazy family. There was no way to be sure, however, until they all spent some time together, and so far, Elizabeth had avoided that meeting like the plague. She seldom asked questions about his childhood, and never encouraged his occasional anecdotes about his siblings and the adventures they experienced as part of a large and loving family. The few times they had...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?